So recently, napaparami na yung post na nakikita ko about people being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Actually, just this morning, one of my immediate family was diagnosed with one. So I figured gawin ko tong recording na to try to disseminate information, hoping na makatulong siya to those people na suffering from the disease or knows someone who could be suffering from the disease. Okay. So first thing, kailangan nating maintindihan kung ano ba yung diabetes. Okay? When we say diabetes, in a nutshell, it's basically a problem with having too much sugar in our blood. Masyadong mataas yung sugar content ng dugo natin. So meron yung dalawang klase. We have the type 1 diabetes and then the type 2 diabetes. Yung type 1 diabetes, it's basically an autoimmune disease. Okay? Wherein yung katawan natin is unable to produce its own insulin. Okay, hindi kaya mag-produce ng katawan natin ng sariling insulin. Now, if you're one suffering with type 1 diabetes, as much as I would like to help you with this recording, hindi to para sa inyo. Okay? We are focusing on the type 2 diabetes. Now, type 2 diabetes, yun naman yung condition wherein walang problema yung katawan natin with producing insulin. It just so happen na yung insulin natin becomes less powerful over time dahil sa mga lifestyle choices natin. Okay? Now, dun sa dalawang types, nabanggit natin yung insulin, di ba? Type 1, unable to produce our own. Type 2, our own insulin becomes less powerful over time. Pero ano ba yung insulin? Okay? Now, to better understand it, kailangan muna nating maintindihan ano ba yung nangyayari sa katawan natin every time we consume foods. Okay? So, halimbawa, let's say nag-breakfast kayo kanina, tapos ang kinain nyo ay pandesal. So, pag kinain nyo yung pandesal, tapos nilunok nyo siya, mapupunta siya sa stomach natin, and then from here, madadigest na siya or madudurog na siya. Now, once digested, mapupunta na yan sa dugo natin or yung tinatawag nating bloodstream. Okay? Once yung pagkain natin ay nasa bloodstream na, madidetect na yan ng utak natin. And then, once madetect yan ng utak natin, ang gagawin nan, magre-release yan ng insulin. Okay? Sasabihin yan, okay, may kinain tayo, kailangan nating mag-release ng insulin. So, yung insulin, mapupunta rin yun sa dugo natin or sa bloodstream natin. Tapos, ang gagawin niya, yung mga pagkain na kinain natin kanina, kukunin niya yon, ilalagay sa mga cells natin. Okay? So, usually, dapat hindi problema yon. Okay? Pero, the problem will start kapag masyado tayong maraming kinakain. Okay? So, halimbawa, para mas maintindihan natin to, ihalin tulad natin yung mga cells sa katawan natin sa isang kwarto. Okay? So, halimbawa, bawat isang cell equivalent to isang kwarto. Tapos yung kwarto na yon, meron siyang isang pintuan. Okay? Tapos, sa loob ng kwarto, meron tayong bed spacer. Ang pangalan ng bed spacer natin, mitochondria. Okay? Over the simplification ng role ng mitochondria, ang goal niya ay kunin yung pagkain na dinala ni insulin sa kanya at i-convert yon into energy. Okay? Kaya di ba pagka nangihina na tayo, tapos nakakain na tayo, lumalakas na tayo. Kasi yung kinain natin, nako-convert siya into energy. Okay? So, ang nangyayari is, kukunin ni insulin yung pagkain, dadalhin dun sa loob ng kwarto na yon, ibibigay kay mitochondria, tapos si mitochondria, i-convert siya into energy. Yun yung overly simple or oversimplification ng mechanism ng katawan natin to convert our food into our energy. Okay? So, where the problem begins. Nangyayari yung problema kapag, let's say, kumatok si insulin doon sa kwarto ni mitochondria. Sabi niya, mitochondria, may dala akong pagkain, i-convert mo to into energy. So, ang gagawin ng mitochondria, bubuksan yung pintuan, papapasukin yung pagkain, i-convert into energy. So, everything's going well. Kaya lang, Pagka lagi siyang ginagawa ni insulin na to the point na hindi pa naman gutom si mitochondria, pero nandiyan na naman yung insulin kumakatok, sasabihin niya, "Oh, mitochondria, may dala ulit ako. Buksan mo to." So, over time, si mitochondria magtataka na siya. Kasi, hindi pa naman siya gutom, pero may pagkain na naman. Pero eventually, para magawa niya yung trabaho niya, bubuksan niya ulit yung pintuan, papapasukin yung pagkain, i-convert into energy. Okay? And the cycle continues. Pero, darating dun sa point na ayaw na ni mitochondria. Kasi pagod na siya, ayaw niya nang kumain, ayaw niya nang buksan yung pintuan. Okay? So, kahit anong katok ni insulin, hindi na nagbubukas yung pintuan ng cell or ng kwarto. So, what happens next? Instead of giving up, ang gagawin ni insulin, tatawag yan ng mga kabarkada niya. Tatawag siya ng ibang insulin. Sasabihin niya, tulungan niyo ako. Buksan natin tong pintuan ni mitochondria. Ayaw niya kasi akong pagbuksan eh. Okay? So, ang ending, dalawang insulin, sabay na silang kumakatok ngayon sa kwarto ni mitochondria. So, eventually, walang magagawa si mitochondria but to open up, kunin yung mga pagkain na dala ng dalawang insulin na yon at i-convert into energy or ilagay sa mga fat stores natin kung hindi natin siya ginagamit. And the cycle continues. Darating yung point na kahit dalawa na yung kumakatok, ayaw nang magbukas ng pintuan ni mitochondria. So, what happens next? Tatawag ulit sila ng ibang insulin. So, ang ending, 3 na yung insulin and the cycle continues. Darating yung point na 4 na sila, 5 na sila, 20 na sila. Until such time na regardless of how many insulin there is, ayaw na silang pagbuksan ni mitochondria. Yun ngayon yung tinatawag nating insulin resistance. Insulin resistance, yun yung point in time kung saan yung cells natin are starting to resist insulin kasi ayaw nilang pagbuksan yung mga pintuan nila. So, what happens next? Ang ginagawa natin or ang pinapagawa sa atin ng mga doktor, tuturukan tayo ng insulin to try to solicit external reinforcement. Kasi hindi na gumagana yung built-in natin eh. Okay? So, yun yung point in time kung saan pwede ka nang ma-diagnose na type 2 diabetic. Okay? So, kung i-reverse engineer natin, type 2 diabetic or type 2 diabetes will come from insulin resistance. Insulin resistance will come from mga insulin na katok ng katok. Okay? So, paano natin may iwasan na kumatok yung mga insulin? Okay? Now, para mas maintindihan natin yan, step back tayo ng konti. Puntahan natin yung topic of macronutrients. Okay? I'm sure narinig na natin yung term na yon at some point in time, probably sa commercial ng Milo. Pero, for us to understand kung anong macronutrients, i-explain natin siya ng overly simplified. Okay? So, meron tayong 3 klase ng macronutrients. Yung first is carbohydrates. Yung pangalawa ay protein. Pangatlo ay fats. Okay? Now, okay, Hil. Anong difference ng 3? Okay. Yung carbohydrates, yun yung mga pagkain na tumubo sa earth. Palay, kamote, saging, papaya. Okay? Yung protein, yun naman yung mga pagkain na either lumakad sa earth or lumangoy sa dagat. Beef, chicken, sardines, tuna. Okay? And then yung fats, as far as I know, walang pagkain na pure fats. Lagi siyang nakaangkas doon sa dalawa. Halimbawa, yung beef is a combination of proteins and fats. Yung avocado is a combination of the 3 macronutrients. Yung apple, pure carbohydrates. Okay? Okay, now that we understand yung difference nung 3 macronutrients and how to identify them, anong incentive for us knowing that? Okay? So, balikan natin si insulin. Diba, sabi natin kanina, type 2 diabetes is caused by insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is caused by too much insulin na kumakatok. Now, ano yung reason kung bakit kumakatok yung insulin? Okay. The main reason is yung pagkain na kinokonsume natin. Okay. Now, not all foods are created equal. Merong certain type of food na will require a lot of insulin. Meron namang certain type of food na will require little to no insulin. Okay? So, dun sa macronutrients na pinag-usapan natin, di ba? Carbohydrates, protein, and fats. Carbohydrates is the most powerful trigger of insulin release. Followed by protein, and then yung fats doesn't require any insulin to be processed. Okay? So, ibig sabihin pala, dun sa kwento natin kanina, yung carbohydrates, yung pinakamalakas na rason kung bakit kumakatok yung mga insulin. Protein yung pangalawang rason, although minimal na siya compared to carbohydrates. And yung yung fats, it doesn't require any insulin at all. Okay? So, going back, okay, diabetes ay preceded by insulin resistance. Insulin resistance preceded by insulin na katok ng katok. At insulin ay kakatok lang kapag maraming carbohydrates. So, given that, one of the main things na pwede natin gawin, one of the interventions na pwede natin gawin naturally to try to prevent type 2 diabetes ay to lessen our carbohydrate intake. Okay, and take note of the word lessen. I don't mean na mag-throw ng mud sa carbohydrates. I think hindi sustainable yung diet without carbohydrates, especially dito sa atin. Makanin tayo sa handaan natin, spaghetti, pancit. Sa merienda natin, puto or palitaw. All of them are carbohydrates. Diba? Hindi siya sustainable I think the more sustainable option would be portion control. Anong ibig sabihin? The next time nakakain ka, tignan mo yung plato mo. Okay? Sa lahat ng nasa plato ko, alin dito yung tumubo sa earth? AKA carbohydrates. Next, sa lahat ng nasa plato ko, alin dito yung either lumakad sa earth or lumangoy sa dagat? AKA proteins. Okay? Make sure na yung next plate mo will be dominated by protein. Okay? Para onting insulin lang yung kailangan kumatok sa cell. Okay? So, yun yung nakikita kong overly simple na explanation on how type 2 diabetes forms, and meron na din dong implications or mentions about how can we reverse yung type 2 diabetes. Okay? Take note of the word reverse. Kasi, one of the misconceptions na pinaniwalaan ko rin dati is the reality na type 2 diabetes is a lifetime disease. Irreversible. Sabi nila, kailangan mong mag-take ng medicine for life, and then eventually you'll have to inject external insulin if hindi na gumagana yung gamot. Kaya lang, it begs the question, yung ancestors natin, wala naman silang metformin or yung gamot na pang-control ng blood sugar. Wala naman silang injectable insulin. Pero how were they able to manage not to get diabetes? So, ibig sabihin, merong way, merong natural intervention. We don't have to be medicine dependent. Okay? I'm not saying at all na wag kayong uminom ng gamot. Okay? I'm not a medical professional. I'm just someone who's overly curious about this topic and someone who likes science that makes sense. Kaya lang, kung titingnan mo kasi, when the doctor tells you na you have to inject insulin to manage your diabetes, kaya lang, di ba sabi nga natin kanina, yung type 2 diabetes is associated with insulin resistance So, dinadagdagan mo lang yung insulin na pipigil na kakatok doon sa pintuan ng cell. Eh, yun nga yung gusto nating iwasan. Okay? And I don't think merong, or probably just a handful na medical professionals talking about lifestyle intervention. Most of them are targeting, you know, medicines. Now, I don't have anything bad to say about those doctors. Maybe they have the best intentions, but with limited amount of, you know, knowledge outside of the usual medicinal approach. Hindi ko sure Pero, the point is, I don't think na yung diabetes or yung type 2 diabetes is a lifetime disease. It can always be managed by lifestyle intervention, and we don't have to live a life dependent on medicine or insulin. Kaya natin siyang i-reverse. Okay? You just have to understand. Kailangan mo lang maintindihan talaga ano ba yung sakit na to, ano ba yung reason behind the disease forming, ano yung pwede kong gawin to try to resolve or to reverse yung sakit na to. So hopefully, meron kayong nakuwang a thing or two dito sa recording na to. Again, ang goal natin is to try to disseminate information for those science nerds or for those people na who are more knowledgeable than me. Feel free to correct me. Okay? Again, I'm not a medical professional. May mga bagay na pwedeng mali kong nasabi or totally doesn't make sense. But I am more than happy to have corrections, especially if, again, it makes sense. So, ayun lang.